thermal behavior. This is something that since I was here at Purdue and had the opportunity to work with Dr. Dirk Meyer and on some of the early Profume stuff, has always been in the back of my mind and wanting to better understand how temperature, how microenvironments affect a fumigation. This is actually a panoramic shot of FLIR, forward-looking infrared technology. We've seen the guns that take a laser temperature. This is literally billions of them across the screen. But after we shot, we see small areas of cool and really hot. We see stratification through the actual boxes themselves. These were empty and these were full. So if we're targeting insects and we only have one data point, we only walk over to that rusty metal thermometer that's hanging from one of the beams and it says 75 on it, or let's say this said 90 on it and it was actually 60, we base our dosage off of that. We do run the risk on these lower levels of not even affecting the target pest that we're going for. Anytime gas comes out of pressure, or a pressurized cylinder, you're losing energy, which creates cool temperatures itself. So it's not too hard from the pictures that you saw before that we do get some stratification. So if you have a multi-level fumigation, whether it's a home, apartment complex, a mill, it might adjust where you actually shoot the gas. If it's really hot, you might shoot 4.3 with the anticipation of as that gas warms, it rises. Or if it's a cool facility in cool ambient temperature outside, you might shoot above it and let it fall through. But we never shoot basements. We talked a little bit about chimneying effect. So you can see it's 33.4 degrees outside temperature, but you see these hot spots right here. All of the plastic that sealed from the outside was bubbling and pushing out. You know that every little pinprick and gap or area that wasn't economical to take the time to seal was having gas pushed through on that roof. This was my favorite one from the year before. This is actually a full grain bin. You see the snow on it. And if you can see right here, the fan motor is spinning in reverse freewheel. So the thermal updraft or pull through this bin was pulling air from the outside, fresh air. Now it wasn't a fumigation, it was just an observation. But we've all heard those stories of people at the elevator buying usually a case when they needed 3, throwing a few flasks per truckload into the bin and calling it a fumigation. If it's not sealed, you're not really fumigating. Microenvironments. Biggest enemy of a fumigator by far. In essence, if we don't get equipment opened up, if we have things that the gas can't get to, we can't have a reasonable expectation of getting any fatality of the target pest. This was actually a plug dust line that we've been fighting with for months. And you go to the paperwork and say, when is that, we're finding insects in this area, when's the dust line been cleaned? And they said, oh, here's the paperwork, it was cleaned yesterday. All right. Well, can we shut that down? No, we can't shut down, we gotta run. So here we are about 3 months later fumigating it, finally breaking it apart, and we're finding plugs in the system that it wasn't working at all. So take the time to have their maintenance, take the time to do a walkthrough before you shoot, and open up stuff. Open up trash bins, open up closet doors. If the gas does not get to the pest is not gonna die. Another thing is outside pressure. People like us get called because somewhere IPM failed. Whether it was a personal decision from the customer or the contact, whether it was an environmental pressure from the outside. But I hate this more than anything, and it happens a lot with the cryptolestes. but you see insects walking on your seals on the outside of the fumigation when you come to tear them down. I've got pictures of Cryptolestes on the backside of tape that kind of curled just a tiny 1/4 of an inch, just lining it, waiting to get back in. We need to take the opportunity, both from a liability standpoint for our company and ourselves, but also for the betterment of the customer, to bring this to their attention. You have opportunities to do perimeter treatments and adjust the treatment accordingly. Another thing, this is the one I love. This was outside of the treated area. So obviously they had an issue. And this was another one that said, hey, you know, how long has this issue been here? Oh, well, the spilled stuff in there, we cleaned it last week. I mean, we've got rodent droppings all over, paths, crustiness, the gray dust. If you can include it, include it. If you've got an issue with the wall, do both sides of the wall and seal it in. But if you seal this out from your fumigation, again, you're going to have no level of control on it whatsoever. And then ask the right questions. If we learn anything, they're going to take the shortcut. This was at a facility that we fumigated this fall, one of the later ones, and they were wanting to make room for this record harvest of corn that we had. So we fumigated some of their older stuff. They wanted to have their new, better quality stuff in-house and later come and blend it off. So they were going to move it out to a ground pile. Those of you that don't know what a ground pile is, it looks like a big white circus tent all over Illinois, Missouri, Michigan, Iowa, and parts of Ohio. Now you can see them everywhere. So they were going to move it out and put it on top of this. So I just walked over just to take a look at it. And all these black specks are rice weevil. They were going to move my fumigated grain that they paid me to fumigate on top of this. And so the point being is watch and monitor for reinfestation opportunities. Sometimes the failure didn't come from you, but ask the right questions, bring stuff to their attention, and always progressively be moving towards a better level of sanitation and integrated pest management.